What's up everyone, this is Vulgars here, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how you can put text or images on your scope in After Effects. And this tutorial was requested by I'm Reflex, so if you guys want to check him out, I will put a link to him in the description. And I've never done this before, so I'm interested in seeing how this is going to look. I've seen this done in montages, but I've never actually tried it, so this is my first time, and hopefully you guys enjoy this and learn something from it. If you do, I'd appreciate if you leave a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate that. So let's get started. What you want to do is you want to apply Twixtor to this clip prior, and I actually made a mistake on this rendering, and I didn't have the actual save files, so I kind of just I just cut the clip kind of short. It's only like 13 seconds long, but it's still enough for us to do a tutorial with. So let me just render this and get something to drink. Yeah, I made a mistake rendering it, so I can only show like the first couple seconds of it, and I deleted the actual save file, so I can't re-render it. But this looks like it should be pretty good. As you see right here, we're going to be applying the effect right about now. And yeah, so before, when I was thinking of different ways to do this effect, I mean, there's just so many different variations and different things you can do to make this look better. But I'm just going to be sticking to the basics, and maybe I'll apply some better, some different effects to the actual text itself. But for now, we're going to be sticking mainly in After Effects. You can definitely create graphics in Photoshop. I was going to create one. Actually, I have a montage. Well, I'm working on, and I might actually use this effect for that montage. So, thank you, I'm Reflex. Otherwise, I wouldn't even think to do that. Actually, yeah, if you can do graphics, if you know how to do those, I'll try to do like tutorials on making graphics in Photoshop. I don't really know, because every person's kind of different, so you kind of have to learn all of Photoshop in order to know how to do it. So it's kind of hard to do a tutorial on that. But right here, which you're going to notice is like right here is where you want the text to show up. And what you want to do right now is you want to create a text layer, and just you want to pretty much make a text layer so it extends through the whole entire composition. And the reason for that is when you go to paragraph right here, if it's centered, if it's like a little off, it's not going to be completely centered. So and only if you really want it centered. It doesn't have to be, because it's going to be tracked to your scope, but just do whatever you want. And then let's see, I'm going to make mine say Vulgars. And actually this clip was by Xfusion Scopes, so I'll put a link to him in the description too. But I could always put his name on this, although I'm just going to put Vulgars to make it simpler. And I'm not even sure if Xfusion Scopes will actually fit on the scope anyway, that's why I'm not doing it. So here we have Vulgars, and the white should look pretty good on the scope, but you can always apply ramps to it, so if you don't know how to do that, you can if you want, whatever. So if you want, you can go to Effect, Generate, and then you can go to, where's Ramp? Ramp, and do a, let's see, a radial ramp, which make it be like a circle, and then if you bring this right about here, we'll do like a purple color for this, and then like a black color for this. Actually, no, maybe like a reddish color. Let's see, I know what I have to do this. And then if you want to, you can apply like film clutter. Actually, that probably wouldn't work that good. You can apply, I want to make this look good, but I don't want to overdo it. This is what I'm talking about when I say I do like a random tutorial, because I had absolutely like no rehearsal prior to this. I'm just doing this like right off the bat, and like if I was making a tutorial, or a montage rather, this is exactly what I would do. I would just play around with it. I would actually render a couple of these and see which one looked the best, but I'm just trying to picture this in my mind right now, which one's going to look good in the actual finished clip. There's no color correction on this clip right now, but when I do add it later, then it'll look better. Alright, so then you want to go to Effect, Distort, and CC Lens right here, and then just put the size down or up like this, and put the, see, like automatically 500 is when it's flat, and you could put convergence to, let's see, put convergence to, let's see, 0, and then I'm trying to see how this is going to work, because okay, put convergence to be like negative 200, and then put the size to be like 100, and that way you're going to get like this curving pattern. So I'm actually going to put it at 130 30 because that looks pretty good. You want to get like a pretty decent, you see how it's curving right here? We want this to match the curve of the scope. So you can always move this little thing up right here, and that's going to give it a more realistic looking curve. I'll put this down a little bit. Now we got this. Looks pretty cool. I'm actually going to mess with the ramp again, just so there's a little more black around the edges. How do I do that? Here we go. And just do this, and then just do that, and then that looks pretty good. I'm going to save it, and then again, do whatever effects you want to it, and then you can pre-compose later if you want. So I'm going to pre-compose just because I like to pre-compose things like after I'm done adding effects, that way it makes it a little bit less complicated. And I'm actually, see, that kind of messes up. Let's go to effect, layer, pre-compose, and that's going to make it so you can move it around, of course, freely without it, without worrying about it. And I'm going to change the anchor point, I believe it's what it's called, to right there. So now we have it straight in the middle. And yeah, now I was deciding on whether we should use the tracker for this, but I've actually decided not to, just because we can manually keyframe it, and because it goes slow enough, it should work anyway. So it starts right about here. So right here is where you want to start tracking vulgars to. Go to transform, go to scale, and sorry about that, I had to cough. You can put scale down a little bit, and if you want, you can always mess with the with this pre-composition, and then go to effect, CC lens, and then do this a little more. That way, it's a little curved, and go back to this, and now we have that. I'm actually not really liking the way this looks that much. Let me go back to this and turn the size up a little bit. And now let's go back to my regular composition and shrink it a little bit. So go to scale. And alright, I guess this is how it's going to look. Well, once it goes up here, it's going to look actually pretty good because it's going to be like this. So I guess the size doesn't really matter right now. Yeah, that's going to look pretty cool. So let's put it back to where the Twixter starts, and I'm just going to get something to drink because my throat is really itching me right now. When I do tutorials, it's like my throat kind of tickles. It's really weird. Right here is where it's going to start. So just put it down here and put the scale down lower, and make sure it's like in proportion. So like if you want to zoom in, hold an Alt and then use your mouse wheel. Make sure, like, of course, the Z is always be aligned with that. If you're not using motion tracking, if you are, then you can just let it track and do that. And if you want to see my motion tracking tutorial, click on the screen right now, and it'll bring you to the motion tracking tutorial that I'm talking about. And just keyframe everything, even rotation if you want, doesn't really matter. Then go to like right here, and then you can make it a little bigger, not much, like that. And then just see how this looks, and you want to just, yeah, that looks actually pretty decent. Let's see, right here is where it starts, and we're also going to fade the opacity with it, so don't worry if it's not perfect in the beginning, but the closer you get to the end, the more perfect you want it to be. And then go a couple frames right here, and then you also want to stay relatively the same as far as like position. This is what I'm talking about, like when I said it kind of be easier to motion track it, but it would look better, it wouldn't be easier, especially for me to explain. It's kind of a pain to explain this like every time I do a tutorial. So, and then you want to just keep keyframing this. If you don't know how to keyframe, then watch my keyframing tutorial or watch any other tutorial. Pretty much my Vegas keyframing tutorial is going to explain all you need to know about keyframing, and then if you just follow along with this, you'll understand it. And then it seems to follow it pretty good. Not the best, of course, for not motion tracking it, but If you spend a little more time on this, you can definitely get it perfect. Just pretty much the same with everything. If you want to do it precisely, you just gotta, you know, spend more time on it. And keyframe 100% right here, and then as it goes in, just put down to 0, and now you have this. And I'm not really liking this right there, where it's like messed up a little bit. So that means that I have to fix this. Put the scale down a little bit, and then move it over like that. Now it seems to look pretty good. Alright. Now that we have the text motion track there, again, you can put any type of graphic or logo there if you want. But now what we're going to do is we're going to worry about like how to make it look more normal, like how to make it, of course, look like it's supposed to be there. So we're going to do, I guess we can apply color correction. I'm going to try to apply color correction more towards the end of the clip, but for now, you notice how like as you get closer, it starts to get blurrier, like the scope. So we can also apply a fast blur to this, so go to Effect, Blur, and Fast Blur. And you don't want to blur it too much, that way you can't see it, but you want to blur a little bit to give it some sense of depth. So go to Fast Blur and just keyframe it right here when you begin seeing it. And then keyframe it right here so it's a little blurry. And then, this might be a little too much, I hope it's not. This looks pretty good, because you can definitely tell it says Vulgars on it. And it definitely matches the blur of the scope. It's like right here, it's more clear, now it's not. So also you can apply optical flares. So for that, what you can do is you can go to the frame where it's the largest. You can go to Layer, New Layer, Solid, or Adjustment Layer should work. I usually use solid. I just like using solids. I don't know why. Rename this Optical Flares. Okay. Go to Effect, Optical Flare. Alright, so what we're going to do now is going to go to Options, and you can delete most of this. Now we're going to go to this little orb right here, and this is pretty much all we need. We can even add this if we want. I usually like to add this, gives it a nice look. And change the length so it's a little bit smaller, like that. And then put this right here. Put this behind your name. And then you want to make the size a little bigger, so go to brightness. And then right here, you want to keyframe it. And then you want to also make sure you select the parent of this solid. And I apologize, but before, for some reason, Optical Flares wasn't working, so I had to restart After Effects, and I didn't save it. So that's why I know before the last clip, it was it said, what was it, Optical Flares or something like that. I don't know what happened, but it didn't crash, but it wasn't working, so I had to restart it. And that's why sometimes my tutorials they take longer than they're supposed to, because just stuff doesn't usually work out. It works out fine when I'm actually making the video, but not when I am doing a tutorial. I don't know why. So right here is where you have your orb motion track to it, and you don't have to do this. This is optional, of course, but I think it's gonna look nice. And you can pick any color you want. I'd prefer probably a lighter color, like a light blue. Look nice. Anything really. Even a light purple would look cool too. Maybe a light. I'm gonna stick with this light purple because the purple schemes look pretty nice. And then parent this. I forgot to do that. To Vulgars. And now the flare is going to. Look what happened. That's not good, is it? It's not good. Alright. What we could do now is we can mask it. So let's go to the mask tool and then just create a mask around this, and we'll mess around with the masking, what's it called? The feather, I guess. This is not a good mask. I gotta redo that. I want to make a good mask, and I want to make a bad mask. Let's just put a dot right down there, dot there, dot there, dot there, and then dot there, and a dot there. And then go to feather, effects, masks, and then feather, and then this looks pretty good. Nope. Now it does. But it's still not going to solve our problem completely. Mostly, but not completely. Let's go edit our mask again. Just shrink it a little bit. This looks pretty good. Alright. So now we have this little, orb looking, and it looks pretty decent. I think it looks good. And the size even adjusts to the, of course, when you go to, like, when you parent it, I'm not sure if it's just optical flares or if it's in After Effects generally, but it's just going to, of course, adjust the scale to it as well. So save that. Now you have that look, and then you want to, of course, apply color correction to the actual map. So go to Effect, Magic Bullet Looks. So looks right here. And I apologize if you just wanted this like tutorial, like a brief tutorial, but I'm just doing this, like I want to show you guys what I would do, give you guys a more realistic representation of how I edit my clips, because I don't just like I usually edit or add more than one effect. I don't just leave it at that. So I'm gonna go into Magic Bullet Looks and go to some presets I have. So I use Magic Bullet Looks a decent amount of time, but I'm not exactly see, like that looks pretty nice. Let's see if this looks good. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. Alright. I'm actually liking this. This looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to save it, of course, because I don't want anything to happen to it. And I think we're almost done. Is there any other effect we can add to it? Let's see. And right here. I actually like this orb in the center of the screen because it makes it bright. So I'm going to keep the orb and I'm going to slowly... Okay, I'm going to slowly make it go down. Slowly make the brightness go down. So, brightness. And then slowly make it go down. Let's see, now just last thing you have to do is you have to keyframe the opacity on Vulgariz. And I'm going to add a couple more effects to the actual map to make it look a little better. Okay, so right here, so keyframe the opacity of Vulgariz at 0. And keyframe 100 right here though, just to make sure. And then keyframe this at 0. And now it's like this. Gonna actually make it go up a little more like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the brightness of the orb, or the optical flare. Get that exactly on the keyframe, and then go to brightness, keyframe that, and then go down to here. And then turn the brightness down to 0. And now, I think this looks pretty cool. I don't know about you, but I think this looks really good. Let's just see. I think I might have made a slight mistake, but it actually looks good this way, so I'm going to keep it this way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm actually going to add Particular. So go to, where is it? Oh, trap code, Particular. And yeah, this always does that. I don't know why it's always screwing up. Oh, I know why. I don't even know what I'm thinking. I always create an extra layer whenever I do something. I'm just not thinking right now. That's why I'm talking like so slow. I'm just like so laid back right now. I'm pretty tired. I don't know, it's only 11 o'clock, but pretty tired. I just I don't know. I was in the mood to make a tutorial. I haven't made one in over a week, so like I've actually never made a tutorial in over a month because yeah, I've been busy. So I made tutorials prior to that, and I've just been uploading them. So I'm kind of rusty as far as tutorials go. So that's why I'm doing this laid back one. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys like these laid back tutorials that I'm just chilling? I'm actually in the process of editing right now, so it's just, it's me right in the element. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm not, setting everything up. I'm just editing. And what do you guys think of that? Please leave your feedback, because that'll inspire me, I guess, to do more tutorials this way, No? Alright, I don't know. Alright, what was I going to do? Oh, yeah, Particular. I don't know, it sounds really weird when I say it. Trap code, Particular. And then I have to find a good preset because I never use it. Like I use some of these, but Give me a second. I'm gonna pause this video to find a good preset that works, and then I'll tell you guys all the settings in case you actually use this. So, give me a second. Alright, so I'm done adding the particular effect, and I also did some motion tracking because I wasn't really happy with how the manual keyframing looked. I did my own motion tracking. Like I said, if you click the screen right now, there will be an annotation. I guess I'll just put the annotation right here. If you click right here, you will go to the video that shows you how to motion track, and pretty much if you just motion track to a point in the scope, and then you can manually keyframe scale, or you can use the scale in here. I usually don't use the scale over here because it usually messes up with like anchor points and stuff like that, so I just use my own scale, and it looks pretty good. I like it, you know. It's not perfect, but it looks a lot better than it did before, and even before it looked alright. It looked passable. So this is what it looks like right now, as you probably saw in the beginning of the video, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So what else did I do? Okay, so I paused the video for quite some time, as you can see, and I added, of course, I motion tracked. I have my null object right here, and these are all the keyframes that the null object went through, as you can see. Then I have my black solid, which is the particular. And basically with particular, let me go to effects, particular. I also added fast blur in the end, and I put fast blur on 4. That way it looked a little blurry and it looked a little nicer, especially for what I was doing. Considering the scope was kind of blurry, you want to give it a better feel. I don't know, just you want to make it look smooth. Like if you have something that's blurry, you want to keep things that are blurry. You don't want to go add something that's like really clear, because it's going to look out of place. Which is, again, you know, like this looks blurry right here. Magic Bolt looks kind of fix that. It makes it look a little blurrier. And along with this color correction, it just looks all nice. And as long as it looks smooth and it looks like it's supposed to be there, you'll have a good montage. Like people over edit and it looks good, people under edit and it looks good. But like it kind of, you have to make sure, you know, like it looks good and it looks like it's not out of place. And that's pretty much the key to making a good montage. It doesn't matter if the effects are really complicated or really simple. It just has to look smooth, and it has to look like it was supposed to be there, or like in place. If things are out of place, like you have colors flashing everywhere and things are blurry, things aren't blurry, it's just not going to look good and dynamic, and just not gonna go that good. And I want to do like a, you know, pretty much I want to do more videos like this where you guys get to see, and this is almost like first-hand experience, as if you were actually watching me. And hopefully this will help you guys out. I mean, this kind of demonstrates a lot of different techniques with motion tracking and optical flares and just fast blur. This demonstrates a lot of different techniques, and definitely if you watch this, understand how to do all of this, you're a pretty decent editor. You just have to find out how to put it together. I'm sure this tutorial is like 20 minutes long, but whatever. What are you gonna do? And yeah, so the particular options, again, if you want to go to effect, trap code, and then particular, add this on a black solid and put the mode to be add, or you can do an adjustment layer possibly. And then what you're gonna do is you are going to excuse me, I have a cough. Particles a second, I did 3, and then I also this is gonna be kind of hard to explain, but this composition generally is a lot longer. Like not this composition, but this this one clip right here, like the yeah, this clip, this the layer is actually a lot longer than you actually see. I just put the layer, I pretty much, like, I made it so that the layer starts a little bit later. That way, instead of, because generally when you use particular, the particular spawn, so it would be, I put the spawn down here, and I changed, I'll go to that in a second, I changed the mode to be box, that way it spread out over a large area instead of just spawned right in the middle. And, like I said, I'll go over that in just a second. But, definitely, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, definitely what you want to do, like, is when it comes to this, you want to make sure that you like catch it in between. You don't want the particles to be spawning and then it's not going to look smooth. You know, you want the particles to already be there. So you're going to want to, of course, you want to just drag the end out of the layer and then just move it. As you can see, as you move it, the particles act, you know, they move. So pretty much you just want to move the layer to the correct moment where the particles are in place. If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry, I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, pretty much, it's just like common knowledge. You don't want the particles to just be all down here. You want to move it, that way they're over here. So, particles, you want 3 particles a second. Position, you can just keep that. Velocity, put it to 25, which is, I believe, it's supposed to be 100, so it's 1/4 of the speed, which is already pretty slow. all this stuff. You can just look at this. I'm not exactly sure what I changed in, in particular, but I think I only changed like velocity. I changed life. Change this to whatever you want. I mean, 100, 108. Just as long as you make sure that the particles have a chance to get throughout the whole entire composition. That's really all you want. Size, just keep that at 5. Opacity, keep that. Okay, here we go. So, is this it? No, it's not. Okay, so those are pretty much all the options for that. And then for, I'm trying to find it. Okay, so for right here, yours is going to be set to point. If you set it to box, you have the ability to adjust the emitter size, like X, Y, Z. X, of course, is horizontal, so just change the X so it is like, you have to put it to 520. I'm not sure if that's pixels. If it's pixels, then you want to do 1080, but it seems like it's doing pretty good. Spawning at this 520 right there. Looks like it's pretty nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pixels, because if you put this up a little bit, yeah, it'll spawn a little bit, give it a little more variety. I'm actually going to keep it this way, so where is that? Yeah, I'll keep it this way. This actually looks a little bit nicer, a little more smooth. And then, as the time goes on, like I know I only put 3 particles a second, as the time goes on, there'll be a lot more particles here, so keep that in mind. Like, even though it's only a couple particles a second, it'll actually look a lot nicer than you think. And that's pretty much all I did. I applied fast blur, I changed the opacity, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So I know this tutorial was really long, but it was pretty much just me doing what I do. I mean, people, if you want like a really good representation of what I do as an editor, this is what I do. I spend a lot of time. It took me, what, like 20 minutes to find the settings that were perfect, I'm not going to settle for something that's just, like I want to always add dynamics. So I want to make it look good, and I want to make it look, nice, and I want to make it look like it's supposed to be there, and that the montage isn't poorly edited. And that's why I spend a lot of time on this. This is what I do. It took me, what, I started this tutorial maybe like an hour ago, which isn't good, because this tutorial's going to be really long. Alright, talk to you later. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and favorite it, like it, send it to a friend, and it would really help me out, especially if you want to send it to a friend who's also editing. Alright, talk to you later.